the switch cause I love the Heritage Bank experience.
If you happy, I happy to be. Beside the fact
you purchase up to 3% on groceries and gas, 2% on pharmacy items, 1% on everything else, plus bonus cash back with your new card. Say yes to more cash back with Scotiabank Gold MasterCard. Apply today at any branch. Conditions apply.
Grace, habanero pepper sauce. Ay, salsa picante. I want more. Gimme. Remember it hot and spicy. So tasty. New product made in a Belize. Pass the Grace pepper sauce, please. The heat is on for you and me. New product in a this country. Make a them stop for me and my wife. Grace, bringing good taste to life. Grace, so tasty. Grace, salsa picante. Grace, so delicious. Grace, habanero pepper sauce.
Benny's is Belize's primary supplier of plumbing supplies, and we have improved with larger inventories and increased product variety. We have PVC, CPVC for hot water applications, galvanized, copper, ADS plastic, brass for standard pipes, compressor and flare applications. We also have the accessories you need for your home repair or projects. When the job needs to be done right, shop at Benny's, where we feature quality and savings from construction start to finish.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Evening News Report, 29 minutes past 6 o'clock. The Ministry of Human Development, Social Transformation and Poverty Alleviation's National Parenting Task Force, with the support of the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF, is embarking on a new project geared towards the involvement of fathers and children. In celebration of Father's Day, a 2-day workshop will be held in Punta Gorda Town tomorrow and Friday. This will have featured fathers, the roving caregivers, and other key stakeholders from the Ministries of Health, Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, who will participate in sessions focusing on the importance of the father's role in early childhood development and across the lifespan. This is the first workshop of its kind, with an aim to strengthen the model of integrated parenting and early childhood development in the community. The workshop will be followed by a variety show in Orange Walk Town on June 24, where fathers and children will be engaged in several activities to celebrate fatherhood in that community. The ministry, through the Community and Parent Empowerment Program COMPAR, with the support of UNICEF, hosted a national parenting conference in February of 2013. The information gathered from that conference and from consultations for the development of the national parenting curriculum in 2016 highlighted the lack of coordination and harmonization as it relates to the concepts, skills, and dispositions incorporated within these parenting programs and sessions. The establishment of a parenting task force was commissioned by the Ministry of Human Development to develop a strategic plan and coordinated approach to parenting support in Belize, considering the legal frameworks and policies that would impact the desired outcome. Among its scope for strengthening of parenting education in Belize, another mandate of the National Parenting Task Force is to pursue community engagement with particular emphasis on fathers. In response to the varying needs of families and children, parenting education is an emergent professional area of expansion. National assessment of the social conditions among families in Belize illustrates that the erosion of paternal presence, poor financial stability, and increase in crime in urban areas are due to weak family structures coupled with parents who are unskilled to rear and support their children. 54 people from across the country have received training in suicide prevention through a partnership of the Youth Resilience and Inclusive Social Empowerment Project, or RISE, Galen University, and Quebec. The workshops were one of the first activities under the recently launched Youth RISE project and took place in Caillou and Stan Creek between June 8th and 13th. Participants, including persons who actively work with youths within the community safety nets, such as counselors from high schools in Central and Southern Belize and the University of Belize, counselors and social workers from the Ministry of Human Development, Social Transformation and Poverty Alleviation, the Department of Youth Services, and the Community Policing Unit, as well as professionals from IT Vet. The training sought to build on the skill set of the participants, including how to assess and recognize possible suicide cases, how to respond and provide basic counseling to persons at risk, and looked at strengthening service networks to know when, how, and whom to refer. The Youth Rise project is implemented by the Government of Belize via the Ministry of Human Development and public sector and social partners with funding from the Caribbean Development Bank and government. Youth Rise responds to the challenges facing vulnerable groups, particularly at-risk youth in the towns of San Ignacio, Santa Elena, and Dangrega, by supporting the expansion of and access to needed social programs for youths and their families, while developing and presenting new services to reduce social exclusion. Doublehead Cabbage has a new clinic. Today, the U.S. Embassy and the Government of Belize, in coordination with the U.S. Army South, held the 4th ribbon-cutting ceremony as part of Beyond the Horizon 2017, a collaborative humanitarian exercise. The ceremony, during which the U.S. government officially handed over the keys to the new Doublehead Cabbage Clinic to the Ministry of Health, took place in that Belize district village. The ceremony featured speakers including the Charge d'Affaires at the U.S. Embassy, Adrian Galanek, Task Force Commander Colonel John Sima, and the Ministry of Health's Regional Health Manager Dr. Javier Zuniga and Rural Health Nurse Bernadette Smith. Students from Belize Rural Primary School also participated in the ceremony by performing the Pledge of Belize and a short skit highlighting what the new clinic means to the community. The 2,100 square foot Doublehead Cabbage Health Center is the largest building completed during the Beyond the Horizon exercise. This building replaces an existing structure that is no longer capable of meeting the community's healthcare needs. The new 11-room clinic includes a waiting room for almost 40 people, bathrooms equipped with hand railings for patients with special needs, a triage room, and 3 private consultation rooms, one of which has an additional private bathroom. The building also includes space for a pharmacy with a dispensing window, a storage room, and a lounge area for staff. The 2017 lobster season officially opens tomorrow. Fisheries Administrator Beverly Wade yesterday spoke on the importance of following fisheries regulations, especially during this key season.
The lobster, as you know, is our #1 capture fisheries in Belize, which basically means that it contributes the most in terms of income earnings. We're just asking all the fishers who are involved with lobster to respect the fisheries laws. They're there to ensure that we have productive lobster fishery at the end of the day, and to ensure the long-term viability of the fishery for them. Lobster is a commodity that is doing very good for us. Belize has been transitioning to the whole lobster exportation, which has resulted in more returns to the fishers and better markets for us. And so we're very, very much happy about that. And we have all indications that this year should be a good season for us in Belize.
Fisheries Administrator Beverly Wade. The National Institute of Culture and History Niche and the Banquitas House of Culture will host the Banquitas Full Moon Concert. The evening of musical merriment will feature the Surpassing Silence Rock Band performing classic, new, and timeless rock and roll hits. This is an opportunity to come together and share an evening of family, fun, and unity. The concert will be a free event at the Queen Elizabeth Park in Orange Walk Town. It gets underway at 7 in the evening and will end at 10 on Saturday. International and cultural foods and drinks will also be on sale. 23 minutes to 7 o'clock. This is the Evening News Report. We'll find out now what the weather forecast will look like, but first, this message from Fuse Tea.
Fusions that you love. The refreshing sea breeze on a hot day at the beach with your best friends. Live your favorite moments with Fuse Tea, lemon or peach flavor. Fuse the best of tea and fruit flavor. Fuse Tea for only $1.75.
Now let's take a look at the weather, courtesy our colleagues at the National Meteorological Service. Relatively moist and unstable weather conditions continue to dominate the weather. The 24-hour forecast calls for skies to be cloudy at times with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms, mostly over southern and some coastal areas tonight and tomorrow morning, and over inland areas tomorrow afternoon. The winds are moving from out of the east to the southeast at 10 to 20 knots. The sea state is choppy to moderate. Temperatures on the coast tonight, 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Tomorrow, 89 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. In the interior tonight, 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. While tomorrow it will be 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. In the mountains tonight, 21 Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit. Tomorrow, 27 Celsius, 81 Fahrenheit. The outlook for Thursday night and Friday is for cloudy skies with a few showers and thunderstorms over most areas. Now for the astronomical conditions, the tides first. Low tides tonight at 4 minutes to 8 o'clock and at 7 minutes past 7 tomorrow morning. High tides at 9 minutes past 2 tomorrow morning and at 29 minutes to 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The sun is now setting and it will rise tomorrow morning at 18 minutes past 5. While the moon will rise at 28 minutes to 11 tonight, it sets tomorrow morning at 23 minutes past 10. Thank you, forecaster Michael Gentle and her colleagues at the National Met Service. For a transcript of what you've just heard, log on to hydromet.gov.bz. We have more news for you after this.
We know that in today's busy business environment, you need banking to be fast, flexible, and convenient. With Belize Bank's free online banking, you can process employee payroll, make social security contributions, make GST payments, process customs duty payments, view account information, pay bills, and more. Sign up for Belize Bank online today and spend more time focusing on what matters most, the success of your business. Belize Bank Online. Easy, convenient, secure.
It's 20 minutes to 7 o'clock. Let's begin the international news segment with news from out of the United States. A gunman who sprayed bullets at Republican lawmakers during baseball practice in a Washington, D.C. suburb has died. House of Representatives Majority Whip Steve Scalise was one of 5 injured in the early morning ambush at a park in Alexandria, Virginia. The attacker, identified as Illinois native James T. Hodgkinson, was killed after a firefight with police. The injured included 2 officers with non-life-threatening wounds. Hodgkinson is a 66-year-old man from Belleville, Illinois, and his wife told ABC News Today he moved to Virginia 2 months ago. His Facebook account shows anti-Republican and anti-Trump rhetoric, and he volunteered on the campaign of former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. He has had a string of criminal convictions, including traffic violations and allegations of violence. 12 people have died in a West London tower block fire, and the number of deaths is expected to rise, police say. Firefighters rescued 65 people from Grenfell Tower in North Kensington after they were called at 54 minutes past midnight British Standard Time. Witnesses said the people were trapped in the tower block and that some jumped from windows in an effort to escape. British Prime Minister Theresa May said there would be a full investigation, and if there are any lessons to be learnt, they will be. It is understood that several hundred people would have been in the block when the fire broke out, most of them sleeping. The tower had around 120 flats. The cause of the fire remains unknown. A Venezuelan top general who resigned last week has revealed his reasons for stepping down. The head of Venezuela's National Defense Council, Alexis López Ramírez, said he had resigned over President Nicolás Maduro's plans for a constituent assembly. The general said he did not agree with the way the assembly was convened and how its members would be selected. His resignation amid a political crisis has caused waves in Venezuela. While polls suggest that 80% of Venezuelans are unhappy with the way President Maduro runs the country, the military has so far expressed its loyalty to the president. With a record number of 628 murders so far this year, including 54 homicides in 1 week, Jamaica's top cop is deploying security officers to crime hotspots to arrest the recent spate of crime. Police Commissioner George Cuello told reporters the situation is frightening as he reported that the figures so far this year include 45 killings, which claimed 100 lives. He said there were 37 double murders, 6 triple murders, and 2 quadruple murders. This underscores a high level of wantonness and brutality, the police commissioner lamented. Cuello, who took office just last month, pointed out that the most of the bloodshed was happening in volatile communities, and he blamed gangs for more than half of the murders. But he says the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF, will be stepping up its enforcement of anti-gun and anti-gang legislation and the special powers of provision legislation as it mounts an all-out offensive in troubled communities. But even as the JCF has launched its new offensive, the police commissioner suggested the judicial system had also to get its act together. Staying in the Caribbean, police in Bermuda, already probing the circumstances surrounding the sudden passing of a former tourism minister over the weekend, have now launched a full investigation into the circulation of a voice note which includes disturbing and false information about the death. Independent legislator and former member of the One Bermuda Alliance, Sean Crockwell, was found in an unresponsive state at his home last Saturday evening and was subsequently pronounced dead at the scene. Police say initial reports suggest no foul play, but they will conduct an inquiry. On the heels of the news, a 21-second audio recording which described the supposed circumstances surrounding Crockwell's discovery and his condition began circulating on social media. And in a statement issued on Monday, police said the person whose voice was on the recording had been identified. Chief Fire Officer Reginald Lloyd Birchall said this serious issue is being fully investigated. And nearly 200 Democrats in the U.S. Congress are joining forces to file a legal case against President Donald Trump over receipt of payments from foreign governments via his businesses. The plaintiffs accuse the president of violating the Constitution's emoluments clause prohibiting receipt of gifts without congressional approval. They say this is the largest number of legislators ever to sue a U.S. president. State officials and private businesses are suing President Trump in similar cases. The Attorneys General of Maryland and the District of Columbia announced their lawsuit on Monday. The White House, for its part, has denied their allegations. Spokesman Sean Spicer blamed partisan politics for the Attorneys General lawsuit. That is a roundup of international and regional news. That will do it for me and the rest of the news team on this Wednesday, but first, a reminder of the top stories. A man is remanded in connection with a home invasion in southern Belize. The Senate Special Select Committee continued hearings in Belmopan. And a man who shot a U.S. congressman in the U.S. state of Virginia early this morning and others was killed by authorities. We will have another newscast for you at 6:30 tomorrow morning, but for now, we say thank you for joining us. Coming up next, you'll be rejoined by Offering Zapal. Later on, it's the live Mega Bingo draw, and then it's Flip It Wednesdays with Cloud9 Sounds. I'm Dale McDougall. Have a good evening and a good night.
This has been Waves News, keeping you informed.
Wave FM, la radio número 1 en Belice. Estéreo Wave, la máxima dimensión en radio. En el 105.9 en frecuencia modulada, con los hits del momento, desde la ciudad de Belice, Centroamérica.